A new report from the State Department confirms what we all knew all along: the Keystone Pipeline project unlikely to have any adverse effect on the environment. The ball's now in the President's court to approve this. The pressure is on. A bipartisan group of senators sent a letter to the President earlier this week urging him, please approve the project. We're joined by one of those senators, Republican from North Dakota, John Hoeven. Senator, a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Good to be with you, Stuart.
With all that we've heard, all that we've studied on this pipeline, I don't see how the President can turn it down, but I think he will. What say you?
Well, he's clearly trying to find a way to turn it down. We're in year 6. It's been more than 5 years. This has been in the permitting process. As you just said, the final environmental impact, again, clears the way to move forward with the project. So clearly he's trying to defeat it with just ongoing delay. And that's why we're really putting the pressure on.
I suspect that if he does approve it, there'll be all kinds of caveats, like you can't export the oil. You can only allow a certain amount to come down the pipeline, or it must be fed to here or there. All those, I think that would be the way around a flat-out, yes, go build this thing. What do you say?
Well, that's certainly a possibility, and that's why I've got legislation in with a lot of bipartisan support to move this forward. And that's why we're continuing to work to get people on board so that we can just get the project approved, force a decision, get the project approved.
So you can do that. You can have legislation which says, Mr. President, build it. You can pass that legislation, and then it's up to him.
Well, in fact, we did that once, Stuart, back in 2012. Passed a bill, attached it to the payroll tax holiday, forced him to make a decision. He turned it down at that time. It's since been rerouted. Again, we've jumped through all the hurdles, and now we're trying to do the same thing. Force him to make a decision and to make the right decision for the American people.
In the interview right before the Super Bowl with Fox News' Bill O'Reilly, the President poo-pooed the idea that it would create a lot of jobs. He interrupted Bill O'Reilly and said, no, it's just a couple of thousand. How many jobs would it create if this thing were built?
His own State Department says more than 42,000. In addition to hundreds of millions of tax revenue, doesn't cost 1 penny of federal dollars. It's billion-dollar investment that will generate tax revenues to help with the deficit and debt. The State Department says more than 40,000 jobs. And you're talking about energy independence, producing our energy here at home with our closest friend and ally, Canada, rather than getting it from the Middle East.
I don't mean to press you, Senator, but would you handicap this thing? Give me the odds. What do you think is going to happen at the end of the day? Tell me.
So I'll do it this way, Stuart. We're up to about 55 senators on board. We got to get to 60, so I'll say 55%. We get it, and we're working on it every day.
Would you just give us a comment on what we heard yesterday from the Congressional Budget Office, that yes, indeed, Obamacare and the subsidies are indeed a disincentive to work? Your comment, sir.
Well, clearly, and that's what the CBO, which is nonpartisan, the Congressional Budget Office, they came out and showed very clearly that Obamacare creates a disincentive to work because as you increase your income, you get less subsidy. That's a disincentive, and they show more than 2 million people who will not be working because of that disincentive. And that doesn't even count the incentive that employers have to cut people back to 30 hours or less to avoid the cost of Obamacare.
Okay. Senator John Hoeven, Republican, North Dakota. Thanks for joining us, sir. Good luck with that pipeline. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.